Hi everyone, welcome back to Barbie Dolls of the Week. So this week I'm going to be showing you my doll haul from my Vendor City visit a few weeks ago. Now, just a reminder, that's a flea market type place in Kokomo, Indiana, about 45 to 50 minutes from here. Uh, and so it's not a bad trip every once in a while. So I showed you my visit there on a couple videos ago, which a lot of people seem to enjoy. And now I want to show you the haul from the video. There's also going to be some stuff from Kokomo Toys that I show you because I just want to put those in the same video, but I'll tell you which are which because I didn't get a huge amount of stuff from either, so I thought I would just combine them. I mean, I got enough, don't get me wrong. I spent enough, but it was one trip for the month of, July, and I won't be doing another trip like that. So let's move on to the dolls. So first of all, some of you were, as I said, saw my visit to Vendor City, which I really enjoy, and I picked up some really good deals. So I'll start with the smallest ones first. And also, some of these I bought, as I mentioned in the video, to put on eBay, and this would be the first group. So I found out these are Chelsea dolls. Now, I knew they were either Chelsea, Stacy, or Kelly, but I can't keep them straight since I don't really collect those. But there's this doll, which has a mask, and no, I didn't draw that on there. It came like that. She's also got a cape. So she's some kind of superhero-like doll, and I don't know what the line was, but maybe somebody out there does. Here's another one this is all in one lot that I'm selling on eBay, and not all this am I selling on eBay, but some of it. So this goes with her, and then also this last little Chelsea doll. So thanks for the people who answered my question about was this Chelsea or Stacy or who, and they said these are Chelsea dolls. So that's what I went with. So again, there's 3 of them, and I got these at Vendor City. One more look, sorry, that was a little quick. So I know she's supposed to be one of Barbie's sisters, but I'm not sure at this point how many sisters Barbie has. Seems like at least 4, because you got Skipper, Chelsea, Kelly, and Stacy. I'm not sure if Stacy's a sister or not. Okay, and then also at Vendor City, there was a new, since I've been there last, there was a new booth that had all Barbie dolls. I mean, I loved it, and it was much better, actually, than the booth towards the front that I said in the video is, the best booth here. Well, now it's not. That booth is the one that I also said some of their prices are too much, and that's why these dolls are sitting. So they've been here since I was there in the fall. Tristan, who I recommend, by the way, the bow tie toy collector guy, he has a channel that I watch, and I've subscribed to, and we've met and gotten to know each other a little bit. And so Tristan did a video there some months back, and some of the dolls were still there when I went in early July. But the new booth, I think, is going to do better because their prices were much better, in my opinion, and they had a really good selection. So I ended up getting 2 dolls from that, and one is this doll that I've seen for years. I've always seen it. I always thought, this is a nice doll. I really think she's pretty. I like the outfit. Now, she's not an official holiday doll like you might think if you didn't know any better. Here's the back of her box, by the way. And, I just like the red and green and the white faux fur trim. She's got a pretty face, nice earrings, and the hair is interesting with that piece especially. And I like the box. The box is well. So it's just a really well put together. The look is really good, I think. And I think I got her for it was either $10 or $15. I thought that was a good deal for her, especially when you don't have to pay for shipping. And then I also pointed out a couple of the back-to-school Barbies that I saw there. Now, I will say this. There were multiple Barbies I would have liked, or couple Kens, I would have liked to have gotten. But you have to pick and choose. And so these are the 2 that I chose, and they were lower priced than some of the others. But I got this back to school Barbie. Now I mentioned, I believe, on the video, but I'll say it again just in case, that I had this at one time. I know I did. I bought it maybe at Target or somewhere back in the day when it was new. But I ended up, I'm pretty sure, selling it. And so I decided to get it again. So whichever one of these was $10, the other was $15. I want to say maybe this one was 10 and that one was 15. But anyway, they were each one of those prices. And I just think she's really cool, and I love, again, the outfit, which, by the way, her skirt kind of reminds me of a short version of her skirt, that long poofy one. So it's kind of a tartan plaid, I think that's considered. That one's more a holiday with the shimmery silver in there, so it's definitely different. Just slightly reminds me of that, though. And, of course, the big B on her shirt is interesting, or her jersey, whatever that's supposed to be. She is a 90, these are both 90s dolls, and let me see if I can tell you the exact year. 92 for this one. So this is 1992. So, at the time I was working at Target, and so I had a discount. That's why I probably would have gotten this at Target. So, that's that one. Again, those were both from Vendor City. Now, there were several things at Vendor City I looked at, I almost got, like from that first Barbie-based booth, I almost got one of the military Barbies that was on sale. There was one that was much cheaper than the other 3 or 4. And the only reason I didn't get it was because I couldn't remember if I had that. And I have a spreadsheet that I use to keep sort of an inventory, at least of the box dolls, and a count of the deboxed or out-of-box dolls. However, I don't have that with me on my phone or access on my phone. So somehow, if anybody has any ideas how I can have that on my phone the best way. Now, I know there are apps for collectors. That's not really what I mean. I don't want another app if I can help it. But I think I could just maybe, it's a Word, or excuse me, not Word. It's an Excel document. I'm wondering if I could put that in Notepad, or just like a copy. So if anybody knows, let me know. Now, I want to show you some dolls that I got at Kokomo Toys and Collectibles, because it took me, it was a lot harder than usual to get there because there was some event going on that day, of course, in Kokomo. Some parade the day after July 4th, and actually I asked somebody, I said, is this for July 4th? Now, the parade was actually over when I was heading there. However, there was a lot of blocked streets because of that. So finally I got there, but I had called the store, first of all, to make sure they were open, because they're supposed to be on Saturdays. And they were, but they gave me some tips on how I might be able to get there, but it said the parade is over, so they'll be taking the blocked streets, unblocking them soon. And that's what ended up happening. But by the time I got there, the good news was hardly anybody was there, if anybody, except the people that work there, because nobody could get there right before that. Because usually it's pretty crowded. Now, they have a section of Barbie dolls, and actually this time they had 2 sections. One where was box dolls, not that many, maybe 20 in one little area on pegs, and I think they were on pegs versus shelves. I mean, pretty sure they were hanging. But the one I'm talking about is loose dolls in plastic bags like this. So I went through them because they had a lot more than the last time, and they have some really good deals, I think. A lot of the dolls were $5 each, and to me they look like they're brand new out of the box. Now, they don't always have all their pieces, that's for sure. But let me show you the first one I got, which I think this one was $5, but I'm not 100% sure. But here's the clue as to who it is. This is, of course, Jewel Secret's Barbie. Now, Jewel Secret's Whitney is definitely the more popular in this series, but Barbie certainly has, some fans. And, I mean, for $5, I think she was well worth it. And she does have her necklace. It's just backwards, so let me fix that. She has her ring. She has her earrings. So, it was either $5 or $10. Either one I thought was very worth it. Of course, $5 would be better. Okay, so yeah, one of those prices, and I want to say she was $5, but I could be wrong, because like I said, couple of the dolls I bought were 10. The other 3 were 5 each. So I bought 5, I believe. So she has this outfit. Now, I believe she's the one that has the big purse dress at the bottom, which I don't like. I have one of these dolls on display over on one of my shelves over there, the bottom shelf, almost to the wall. But the hair is a little bit different style, which I like that one a little bit better. But this one's hair is in good condition, and it has all its jewelry, which was amazing. So for $5 or $10, I mean, you can't even get that jewelry for $5 or $10. So I may keep this one, I don't know, but for right now I do have her on eBay since I have another one of these already over there. So if you're interested, my eBay, by the way, I always remind everyone, seller name is Rannman, Rannman. Here's the back view. And I don't think I did anything with the hair yet. I don't think it really needs it, so maybe a teeny bit of freshening, but other than that, yeah, she's in good condition. So I'm going to put her back in this bag for now so that I don't lose her shoes. Yes, she does have shoes on. I doubt those are the originals, and a brush she has. And then also this was $5, and I know that, if I remember for sure. Now, it's funny because I had just gotten this doll on the card, the white version, the Caucasian version. But this one is obviously the African-American version. And for $5, I thought, it's such a pretty doll. And, boy, talk about a lot of dress. Look at that. I mean, I'm not sure if that's supposed to be anything in particular, just swirls, like on the dress, swirly, whatever. But she's also got these bows on her arms that you see here. And then this is the part I like the most, the poinsettias on the gold bodice. To me, get rid of the bows is what I would do if I was keeping this doll. And she does have jewelry too, by the way, gold and earrings. I do love her earrings and bodice are my 2 favorite things. And I've always been a fan of this doll's face. She's got lots of nice hair. It's really soft. So very beautiful doll. So to get her for $5, I think is a wonderful deal. And she doesn't have shoes, but I have extra shoes. If I want to put shoes on her, that's no problem. And I have extra brushes, so no, not a problem there. So again, that's this doll that I got at Kokomo Toys. And then 2 more from there, and I'm not sure what I did with the 5th doll right now, but I forget which doll that was without looking back. Actually, I don't think I've done that on a video yet, so it would have had to have been on the video from Kokomo Toys, which, by the way, I did take about a 10-minute video at Kokomo Toys and Collectibles, which I'll be posting. Haven't done that one yet, but that's where these dolls came from. Now, she was in actually a different outfit. I put her in this dress because the outfit she was in did not do her justice. This is obviously Brandy, the singer. Somebody said her last name is Norwood. I don't know that for sure, so I'm not positive. But it might be Brandy Norwood. She does have little earrings and no ring, unfortunately. She does have bendable arms and legs. Now, one thing she has that I have to admit I don't like is when you sit her legs spread like that. And I'm going to make sure her dress is facing down. So we're going to at least have some dignity. But I don't know why on earth Mattel would have made this doll to not sit properly. I mean, for her legs. So I had a rubber band on her legs up higher for a while, especially when I tried to put her on a stand. But I don't know why that's like that. But other than that, she's a beautiful doll. I think it's actually a really pretty good likeness of Brandy. And, yeah, I like this dress on her. Now, this is a dress from a few years back that, one of those where, unfortunately, it's not the same on the front as it is, on the back as it is on the front. But the front looks a lot better than the back. The back looks okay, though. So, yeah, this is the Brandy doll. I think this was $5 as well. So this was $5. And then the last of those dolls is this one. Now, this is the outfit I believe that the Brandy doll was wearing, or something like that. Maybe it was a different bottom part, and she was wearing this, as what I remember. This one, I don't remember what she was wearing right now, but I'm just curious if anybody knows which doll this is, because she's got very unique hair pieces that are almost like angels, something to do with angels. So I'm wondering if she's an angel doll, or was, like angel of joy, angel of peace. She could be an angel doll. But if anybody knows for sure, here's what those headpiece things look like. And they're sort of plasticky. They're not fabric, by the way. That's what it would remind me of. And let me show you a better view of her face. So, yeah, I really would like to find out which doll this is. But she's very pretty. One thing I really like is, of course they did all the ones with the arms straight and bent before that. This is, I'm assuming, like a 90s doll, but I'm not positive. Could be even 2000s. And I like how they have her arms kind of curved a little bit, and her hands are kind of flared out a little. I don't know, it's just something different. I kind of like it. She's also very, very pale. So, yeah. And then last but not least for today, I want to show you, now I did mention this in the Vendor City video, so we're back to Vendor City now. I bought this bag, which I don't collect Bratz dolls, no offense to anybody who likes them or collects them, but they're just not my thing. So I truly bought this to sell them. So I'm cleaning them up now as we speak. Now, one thing I didn't know about Bratz, and maybe some of you who collect them, if you do know this, obviously, is I was like, oh my gosh, none of them have feet. What the hell? Is there a Bratz doll foot fetishist around that I don't know about in Kokomo or somewhere near there? Because stranger things have happened. But I found out, I thought, oh, maybe first one I pulled out, one doll is missing feet for some reason. But no, every one of these 7 dolls is missing their feet. So I found out that Bratz dolls were sold without feet, so that you could change the shoes and just slip these nubs into the new feet in the shoes already, which seems like a very strange thing to do, because can't you just change the shoes without changing the feet every time? I don't know, maybe they think that's easier and they're less likely to get lost. They could be right, because as you know, Barbie shoes many times fall off constantly, especially on the older ones, not the current ones where they're much more strapped on, which I love, by the way. Now, what I would like to ask you all who may collect Bratz is to help me identify some of these. So, first of all, this is the only boy Bratz doll, and these were fairly dirty, so I had to do clean with some Dawn not detergent, but dish soap to get some of the just grease and in some case and dirt off of these. So if anybody knows who he is, let me know. And then there's a mini one. I didn't know they had Bratz minis, but she's mini. And she's, I know they have characters, like 5 or so characters, like Chloe and Sasha, I think, and, oh, now I'm forgetting, Vanessa maybe, I don't know. But anyway, I know there are 4 or 5, so if you know any of these dolls and you can name them, please put their time frame, like what year maybe, or approximate year, and also, like, is it Fox Run Chloe, or, Hunting Chloe, or whatever. I'm just making some up. I would appreciate it. But yeah, here's this mini little one. She has almost like a painted on bathing suit. Now this blonde one, I've got 2, and I'm going to show them together. But I think this is the Chloe doll, the blonde. Now they had painted on underwear, so, and I just washed their hair and put conditioner in this morning, which I'll be brushing that out and rinsing and brushing, but yeah, I believe this is Chloe. I'm not sure which Chloe or from when, and that's what I'm trying to find out. And you can see they're similar, but obviously not the same. Definitely lip color is different. Very pouty lips on these dolls. And then I think these 2 are the same as well. I'm not sure, I forget which one this is. I saw some names, and Vanessa, I don't know, somebody like that. But you can tell me if you collect or which are which. Let me get that fixed. Okay, so here are these two that look very similar, so I'm assuming they're the same character. They have nice long hair that, like I said, has conditioner in it right now. So that softens it up and it helps moisturize it a bit because they get dry, especially bagged like that. This one, I don't know if this one is the same as the one I showed you. It doesn't look the same to me. Skin tone is very different, I mean, and also just a little bit of a different look. Lips aren't quite as pouty. They've got really big eyes and, of course, this huge head. Honestly, their look is why I never was interested in them. I don't like that look, but I know a lot of people do, and they did really well, or maybe they still are. And the last one, somebody said is like a Moxie girl, I think was the name. So maybe she's not even a Bratz, but she was in with them, unless that's just a different kind of Bratz. But she's got a different face, definitely not pouty lips. It's much smaller lips, much different kind of eyes, smaller nose maybe, or less angled. Just different looking, and a lot of hair. Look at all this hair. Now, the one thing I would say is, other than that mini one, they all seem to have a good quality hair. So some better than others, but you know, there's no complaints about the hair. And like I said, when you brush this out, I don't have, well, I have the little tiny brushes, but I don't know how well they'll work. Let's see. It'll look even better. So one of these blondes had some braids in there. I think it was the one I already put in. I'm trying not to destroy the little tiny braids. And then, like I said, here's the male again. Yeah, it's quite a buff chest, doesn't he? And then the last little mini one more time to show you that this is definitely a Bratz. And by the way, all the dolls except that Moxie one, I believe, and the mini and the the male doll, they're all back on the back of their bodies. The body date is 2001. I know that's not necessarily when they were made. Excuse me. But that's what the body date says. So, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed this doll haul. There's a lot of dolls to talk about today. And thanks again for all your support. Please give me a like on this video. It helps the channel. And also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Feel free to share this video, and I'll see you next time on Barbie Dolls of the Week.